Thank I welcome everyone for this morning assembly. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to have both the present and the past people together for this morning assembly. It is a rare occasion we get to have all the students of Breeks together. To begin the assembly, to take the honors, I call upon the representative of the Breeks family, Mr. Mark Blackett, to take the honors. So please come on to the dais.
School, stand at ease.
Girls 16, 80 girls 12, 80 girls 13, 90 girls 12, 11 girls 7. 8 standard girls 10 plus 1 present sir. 9 girls 5 plus 1 present sir. 10 standard girls 10 plus 1 present. 11 girls 70% present. 9 plus 26% present.
10 boys 24% present.
12th maths by 7 plus 1 present.
12th commerce boys 30% present.
11th maths by 30% present.
11th commerce by 41%.
11th boys 10. 9B boys 21.
9A boys 18.
8B boys 16.
8A boys 18. 7B boys 10. 7A boys 19.
6A boys 16.
6B boys 17.
Dipti, let us discuss.
Today's Bible reading is taken from the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verses 1 to 12. A wise son heeds his father's instruction, but a scoffer does not listen to rebuke. A man shall eat well by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the unfaithful feeds on violence. He who guards his mouth preserves his life, but he who opens wide his lips shall have destruction. The soul of a lazy man desires and has nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made rich. A righteous man hates lying, but a wicked man is loathsome and comes to shame. Righteousness guards him whose way is blameless, but wickedness overthrows the sinner. There is one who makes himself rich, it has nothing, and one who makes himself poor, it has great riches. The ransom of a man's life is his riches, but the poor does not hear rebuke. The light of the righteous rejoices, but the lamp of the wicked will be put out. By pride comes nothing but strife, but with the well-advised is wisdom. Wealth gained by dishonesty will be diminished, but he who gathers by labor will increase. Let us bow down for prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for this new day. We commit this day to you and all that's in it. Help us to remember that there is nothing we will face that, Lord, you can't handle it. Please fill us with your peace, love and joy. Father, we pray that each child in the school is full of love and compassion for others. Teach them to always love and forgive others in the same way you have loved and forgiven them. Thank you for bringing the past people and the descendant from the Breeks family to the school today. You would have not brought them without a purpose. May your purpose will be fulfilled. Guide them safely during the next 2 days of the program. In Jesus' holy name we pray. Amen. I thank the Almighty for giving us this beautiful day for this great occasion. It's indeed we all have gathered here to celebrate the success of this institution. It has completed 150 glorious years in the field of education. Right from educating the Europeans and now to the Indians, in fact the locals. It has weathered every storm across during the 150 years. The history will tell so many moments where the school couldn't overcome on its own, but it is the Almighty who has helped the school to bounce back from every difficulty it has faced. Today, all the old students from different parts of the world, they have gathered here to honor this milestone. Welcome back to your alma mater. And every time we used to say, we are a Breeks family, I used to talk to the teachers. We are a family. We work as a team, but it has become real, and I had never thought, or none of us would have thought, somebody from the descendant of the Breeks family will be in Breeks school. That is a great moment in the history of this school. So boys and girls, let us give a very big hand and welcome our special guest for today, Mr. Mark Platt. So before I hand over the dais to the speakers for today, I would just like to share a few thoughts. I would like to share an experience which I had with one of the alumnus a year before. This alumnus happened to come from Australia. He just entered the principal's room and he had a small cup, something like a tumbler. He brought it. He belonged to the 1960s batch. He came inside with a small trophy and he said, as soon as he entered, I welcomed him and I asked him to take his place, take a place in my room. But he said, no, I will never do that. This is my principal's room. I have never been seated before my principal before and I'll never do. It was overwhelming. It hesitated me to sit on my chair and I stood up and In fact, I came closer to him, and then he showed me the small cup, and he said, "This is what I won during the cross-country race which was conducted in the school." A 1960 batch, he worked in a government service in Australia. He has retired from his service, and he said, "This is the biggest achievement I had made in my life." Then I wondered, in fact, the same day in the evening, I went to one of the classes, and I told them, "See, we teach you to win in life, but here and there we think money is what brings happiness." But an alumnus of the school came and told he won a medal in the cross-country race, and he said, "This is the most precious thing I had won." And he went closer to the portrait of one of the principal. He was the student of Mr. Donald Fox, and I could hear some sobbing, and I went close. I can see tears rolling from his eyes, and he told me how the days were spent with the principal. How important was the principal during those days? If a principal can make a student that much emotional, I found out what kind of a life they had. I knew that school life is the springtime of life. It is memorable in everyone's life, but I never got a definition like what I heard from him. So that was one of a memorable moment. And in fact, we had a very long conversation, and I told about the changes which have happened in the school. It was he who made me to understand what is the biggest culture difference between 1960 and 2020. He said, "We never learned maths at all. We were not giving priority to maths." He said, "I didn't learn maths at all. English language is what was enough. And we all made a life out of it. But of late, it is not so. Everyone is going after mathematics and science, and everybody is into medicine and engineering." So that's a big difference which has happened. That it made my vision clear why so many changes have happened. And that is what then I realized. I joined in this institution as a student in 1980s. In fact, I started from the Wellington House. When I studied, my syllabus was entirely different. In fact, during 80s and 90s also, there was more priority given for English language. I studied English literature and English language. During my course of studies, I would have studied at least 5 of Shakespeare's plays. I would have learned a few novels of the Victorian age. Everyone would have learned Charles Dickens' Oliver Twist. And everyone would have learned all the romantic poets. Keats, Shelley, Wordsworth, Coleridge, everyone would have studied. But later on, I joined here as a teacher in 2000, late 2000. Then I found another change. The priority was given only for professional courses. English is considered only for communication. This changeover has happened in due course of time. Why I want to to talk about this is, I want everyone to know the changes which has happened in the syllabus. Henceforth, the school's culture, according to the demand of the students, has changed little bit. Nevertheless, every school will expect the student to adjust according to this institution, but this institution tends to the needs of the children. This is the greatness of this institution. Well, I don't want to take much of my time. I have so many things to share if I had a full day also. But today it is occasion for the past people who have come from different parts. So I conclude, and I definitely know that this event would have not happened without his will. Definitely, your presence will definitely bring a big change. That's what I believe in. Them that honor me will I honor. So that is my confidence, and I take this opportunity to thank the Almighty for placing me and giving the responsibility. I know how big it is, and I pray that God gives me the strength and energy to take Breeks School to the next level and make the flag of Breeks fly very high in the Nilgiris circle with beauty. I hope that will happen in due course. Thank you. Now I hand over the mic to the alumni.
Good morning, esteemed principal, respected teachers, dear parents, alumni, and my fellow students. It is an honor and a privilege to stand before you today as we gather to celebrate a truly remarkable milestone, the 150th anniversary of our beloved school. This is not just a celebration of years, it is a celebration of heritage, achievements, and the countless lives that this institution has touched over the decades. Founded in the year 1874, our school began with a vision to educate, to inspire, and to create leaders who would shape the future. Over the past century and a half, that vision has flourished, evolving with the times, while staying true to the core values of integrity, excellence, and compassion. As we reflect on this journey, we are reminded of the dedication of our founders, the wisdom of the teachers who shaped generations, and the achievements of alumni who have made their mark in various fields. Every brick of this school tells a story of hard work, perseverance, and dreaming coming to life. Today, as we celebrate 150th years of this incredible legacy, we also look forward to the future. The world is changing faster, and than ever, our school continues to adapt and prepare us for challenges that lie ahead. With cutting-edge technology, a focus on holistic education, and a commitment to sustainability, we are ready to write the next chapter of success. Let us take this moment to express our deepest gratitude to everyone who has contributed to the school's legacy, our teachers, past and present, whose tireless efforts have been the foundation of our success. Our parents who have trusted and supported this institution, and our students will carry forward the torch of excellence with pride. As we commemorate 150 years, let us pledge to honor the past by striving for an even brighter future. Together, as a family, we will continue to uphold the ideals that making this institution extraordinary. Thank you, and let us celebrate this incredible milestone with the joy and pride it deserves. Today, as we gather to celebrate the rich legacy of our school, it is both a privilege and a pleasure to welcome back one of our very own shining example of excellence, an individual who has made us immensely proud, and someone whose journey began with these very walls. Vijay Balakrishnan is not just a distinguished alumnus of our school, but also a true inspiration to all of us. Through his hard work, determination, and unwavering dedication, he has achieved remarkable success in his chosen field, proving that the foundation laid here in Breeks Vijay Balakrishnan, known as Baji, in school was part of class of 1970 IAC. He moved to the US in 1971, got a bachelor's and master's degree in engineering from the University of Illinois, and later an MBA from the Wharton School. His career in aerospace includes work on the space shuttle. He has held leadership positions in several global technology. Vijay is also the author of the acclaimed book, The Swaraj Spy, published by HarperCollins, a book that Shashi Tharoor calls a compelling work well worth reading. So, we welcome you to the stage.
Thank you, Jay and Sheila, for that introduction. Good morning, Headmaster. Good morning, Mark. Welcome to India. Welcome to Breeks. And a very good morning to all of you. As we celebrate the 150th anniversary of the founding of Breeks Memorial School and 50th anniversary of the establishment of the Breeks Higher Secondary School. 150 years, wow, you know, that is an incredibly long time. When the school was established in 1874, the British Empire was at its peak. Just 16 years earlier, the British Crown had taken over ruling India from the East India Company. The school moved to this building in 1886, just 10 years after Queen Victoria was declared the Empress of India in London. So this Red Castle has been a silent witness to many things that have happened. But consider this, just 61 years later, lesser than the age of many of us here, the British Empire was gone. In 1947, India gained its independence, and today, India is a strong sovereign state that enjoys a friendship with the United Kingdom and a relationship of equals. I say this to make the point to you boys and girls that nothing lasts forever, not even empires. So if you're breaking your head against the wall to try and understand that one subject, or struggling to pass that exam and things look absolutely impossible, remember that barriers can be overcome, just like India gained its independence. But it's going to take effort, it's going to take application, it's going to take sacrifice. Equally to you students who are at the top of your class, doing very well, my congratulations to you. But I'll remind you, all of that will go away like that unless you keep putting in the effort to hang on to the successes that you've created. So remember, nothing lasts forever. When Patty and Aki asked me to speak this morning, I reflected on what Breeks has meant to me. And it is pretty evident that a good part of what I've achieved in my professional and my personal lives has in some fashion or other something to do with the foundation that was laid right here at Breeks. What do I mean by that? Let me give you a few concrete examples. I had great teachers. Mr. Carl taught me mathematics. The calculus, the trigonometry, the geometry that he taught me allowed me to breeze through the first year of math and engineering in the United States. If any of Mr. Carl's children are here today, I owe your father a debt of gratitude. Mr. Dhanraj taught me physics in that lab right over there. And that helped me immensely in my aerospace career. And I had a lot of terrific teachers. But there was another person that was responsible for my choosing a career in science and technology. And that was a fellow student. His name was Money. Money, if you're here, thanks a billion. Let me tell you about Money. He was, and I think still is, one of the smartest people I ever known. In ninth standard, when we were struggling with high school science, he would walk around with books on quantum mechanics. Back in those days, we used to get excellent but inexpensive books on science from the Soviet Union. So Money will talk to us about quanta and photons and the uncertainty principle and relativity, all stuff that went over my head. But it made me want to be like Money. It also made me want to be like his late brother Chandru, who was an electronics whiz. Now I'm saying this to you, boys and girls, to certainly get as much as you can from your good teachers, but be open to inspiration from your fellow classmates. And in fact, be open to knowledge wherever it presents itself. Now, I've often been asked about my pivot from a career in technology and management to writing a book that's based on history that Jay Wheeler talked about. And as I thought about it, that thread comes all the way back here to Breeks as well. It was in that classroom over there, we were in 5th standard. Mr. Fox, who was the then headmaster, we called him Foxy, taught us history. Now picture a stocky man. Oh, and by the way, back then, during morning assembly, the headmasters wore capes. And often they would keep their cape on when they came to teach a class. So picture a stocky man wearing a cape with a red beard and a balding head. And those of you who knew Foxy will know exactly what I'm talking about. Pacing up and down the classroom. He was teaching us a lesson on Shivaji and the Mughal Empire. So he was pretending to be Aurangzeb, the Mughal emperor. So walking up and down the classroom saying, I'm looking for Shivaji, where is Shivaji? And then Shivaji would come like a bee and sting him. And Foxy would turn around and that cape would fly. And he'd say, where is that Shivaji? And Shivaji would come from the other side and sting him. And he'd turn around again. We 5th standard children thought it was the funniest thing in the whole world. We were rolling with laughter. But you know what? That lesson is clear in my head to this day. What he did with that play acting was to teach us how Shivaji used guerrilla warfare without using those words to deal with the Mughal Empire. He made us draw comics, 2 by 3, 3 by 3 panel squares, into which we were asked to draw pictures about the lesson that we had learned that day. So the history jumped out of some drab textbook into those pictures and straight into our minds. And this, mind you, when comic books were banned in school. We were not allowed to read comic books because they were American and they would spoil your English. But Foxy violated his own rule to teach us history. So he planted that history bug in me that has stayed with me all along and made its way into my book. Another terrific teacher I had was Mr. Xavier. He honed my skills in writing and in speaking. Now, I was always a reader, a voracious reader, but what he had to do was to take a lot of the knowledge and ideas that I had read and express them on a page. He established a debating society here at Breeks. Not quite the Oxford Union, but it was a great debating society. We had passionate debates on a range of subjects. We competed against other schools and won prizes. Great, exciting times. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this with you, boys and girls, is that it's not enough if you do well on your papers and you get 100% in your exams. You need to be able to talk about what you had learned, what your opinions are, what you had designed, what you had built, because today's world runs on communication. So learn to express yourself in English or Tamil or whatever your strong language is. Learn how to take that jumble of thoughts that's bouncing around in your head, organize them so that they come out as an ordered stream of words. As a matter of fact, let me say this. Let us say you're very strong in Tamil, but you're not that strong in English. Certainly sharpen your ability to speak in Tamil, but use the same efforts to pull up your English. Equally, let us say you're very fluent in English. It is not time to relax. Work hard to pull up your Tamil and your Hindi as well, because in a country as big as India, with the number of languages and dialects it has, you will need to be able to speak to people all over this great land in a language in which they are comfortable. So practice, practice, practice. Practice in front of a mirror to see how you are coming across, what your body language looks like, and the eye contact that you're making. And this is something that no class is going to teach you. You're going to have to learn this on your own, but I urge you, please keep this in mind as you go forward. When I was in 10th standard, they made me the captain of the cricket team. Now, I was not the best player in the team. In fact, D. Radha, who's sitting right there, was and is a great wicketkeeper batsman. The late Ranjit was a hitter in the T20 style of the game, decades before anyone had even dreamt of T20. So here I was in a position where I was leading a group of people who were better than I was. That planted a seed in my mind that kind of evolved into a leadership model that I took with me into my corporate career. I always surrounded myself with people who knew much more than I did in their fields. I listened very carefully, I asked questions, but most importantly, I kept my own biases and ego out of the door. And after I'd heard everyone and analyzed what I'd heard, I made my decisions. Many of you will go on to lead teams, organizations, and perhaps even companies. But what I want to remind you is that leadership is not you doing everything. It is not about you standing on a platform like this and ordering people to get done. What it is about establishing a really good team and getting the best out of that team. I learned that playing cricket for Breeks and not from the Wharton Business School. Now, Breeks was and is a co-educational school. So I learned very early in life to treat the girls in my class with respect. Of course, we had our crushes and our secret sweethearts and what have you, but I always treated the girls the way I would want to be treated as well. So boys and girls, learn to treat each other with respect and take that forward into your lives as men and women. And you know, when we were at Breeks, we had absolutely no idea as to the religion, community, or language of our fellow students. They were just Breeks friends. We didn't care. What we did care about is as to whether that person was a Bury House or a Peerball House or a Willie House person. And by the way, go Willie House. So treat everyone just as a brother and sister. Case in point, in 1969, for the 100th anniversary of the birth of Mahatma Gandhi, Mr. Fox wrote and directed a play called Bharat is One. The theme of that play was the oneness and the humanity that connects all of us. And keep in mind, Mr. Fox was a Canadian, but he was just about as Indian as the rest of us. He was born in Bangalore, he was a student of the school, later a teacher, and then a headmaster. So as you go forward, look at everyone as just a brother and sister. And you know, in that play, many of us boys acted as Gandhiji at different times in his life. So let me tell you how they got me ready for it. They put a handkerchief on my head and rolled the chapati and put the chapati on my head, stuck it all with spirit gum, and put makeup on everything to make it look even. Getting it on was easy, but getting it off, we had to use coconut oil, and when one rubbed, the oil, the chapati, the hair, and the handkerchief all fused together. And when you pulled, clumps of hair came away, which is one of the reasons why I don't have a lot of hair today. So, as I finished, let me share a story with you. You know, Breeks was not only about classes and subjects and games and debates and what have you. We had a lot of fun as well. So with the headmaster's permission, I will share a story about a prank. Now, it happened right here in that room at the Willie Block. There was a student who always came late. So what these pranksters did, and I won't mention the names of the pranksters because one of them is here, they kept the door slightly ajar and balanced a shoe on top of it and waited for the latecomer to come and push open the door and have the shoe fall on him. But lo and behold, what happened was Mr. Fox came early, opened the door, and the shoe fell on him. So to wind up, children, remember, nothing lasts forever, not the barriers that look impossible or your successes. Be open to inspiration and knowledge from anywhere. Learn to express yourself in as many languages as you can. Remember, leadership is about teams and getting the best out of those teams. Treat each other with respect now and as you go forward in life. And look at everyone just as a brother and sister, regardless of their race, religion, language, or community. And most importantly, have fun, because these school years will go away so very quickly. So make some great memories so that someday when you are here and talking to the students of that time, you'll be able to dig into that basket of experience and memories called Breeks. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. God bless all of you children. Address.
Dear all, we are absolutely delighted to announce the participation of Mr. Mark Blackett Odd with his daughter, a descendant member of James W. Breeks, extended family in our Bandwagon 150th celebrations. Mark Blackett Odd is a barrister practicing from Lincoln's Inn in London to his home in Warcock Hall in Westmoreland, UK. Located in the village where James Wilkinson Breeks, Jim was born. Mark grew up to a nearby Helbig Hall between 1853 and 1951. The residence of Jim Breeks and his descendants. Mark's educational background includes Eton and New College, Oxford. He is married to Carol, the eldest daughter of Sir David Scott Fox, a distinguished former British diplomat. Jim Breeks came from a large family with 5 sisters and 1 brother. However, only 2 of them had descendants. Mary, the eldest sister, married Reverend Henry Chester, and their daughter became Mark's father's maternal grandmother. This connection led to the Breeks property at Helbig being inherited by Mark's father, A.J. Blackett Odd. In 1951, today the property belongs to Mark's eldest daughter, Catherine Stead. We extend a warm welcome to Mark and his daughter to this Bandwagon 150th. So the stage is yours. A big hand of applause, the guest of honor, Mark Blackett Odd.
I would like to thank those of you who invited me here today. I am a lawyer, a barrister from England, who is by chance the family descendant of the man after whom this your great school is named. I, like you, but in a quite different way, was brought up in the shadow of James Wilkinson Breeks, Jim Breeks. To have been asked to speak to you is a huge honor, because this is a great school with a literally and international reputation. When I spoke to people in England about me coming here, more than one replied, "Oh yes, you remember so-and-so who was a pupil there." Even in England. Now, here I am nervous addressing pupils, lest one pupil puts up her hand and says, "Excuse me, my aunt in England is your goddaughter." If there is any such pupil here, will they put their hand up now? Jim Breeks was born in 1830 in a farming family in a place called Warcock in Westmoreland, which is in a remote northern England. It is hill country like this, Wordsworth country to those of you who study English poetry, and Warcock, where I live, is where Jim Breeks was born and christened, and where I now have the privilege to be the church warden. When he was born in 1830, he had no less than 5 English uncles then in India, in various posts in the Indian civil service. And they arranged for Jim to be sent to a recently founded school in England called the East India College, which had been set up specifically to educate boys who were going to go into the administration of India. He worked hard and did well. In 1849, he left England for India, aged only 19. It was a momentous event for him and his family. Would they ever see him again? They recorded his departure in the family Bible, in which otherwise only births and deaths were recorded. In India, in the administration, he did do well, and in 1867 he became the collector, effective governor of the area called Nilgiris, living at Uttaramand. While he was there, in effective control of the British people and the Tamil and the Toda and other local people, he and his wife researched the hill people, the ancient people who lived around this locality, and recorded what he found about them in a great book called Primitive Tribes of the Nilgiris, which was published by the India office. But in 1872, here, when he was only 42, he caught fever and died, leaving a widow and 4 small children. His death at that young age was more than a shock to the Uti community. It was agreed by everyone that he should be commemorated by some permanent record. Hence, the Breeks Memorial School was founded as an English-speaking Christian school, but open to all ranks, nations, races and castes and classes. It had what he had been passionate about. And the people who raised the money were not his family who had departed, but the people here, the local people who had known him. This is the school which you have brought to being so famous today. Now, why was Jim Breeks so honoured by those who had known him? Why was a school founded? I think 3 reasons. 1, he had the energy and determination to improve the lot of the people who were his neighbours. Secondly, from a farmyard in a remote country, he had been raised by good education, first at the East India Company College, to be a highly competent administrator. Thirdly, his principal concern, while he was at Uti, was to preserve the culture and build up the esteem of those who were called the locals of the Nilgiris, so that all could share in the advantages, especially education, which was available to more prosperous people. And I think for these things, he has earned his gratitude, our gratitude and remembrance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark Blackett-Ord, for sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us. Your speech was not only informative, but also deeply inspiring. It's clear that your passion shines through in every word you said. We truly appreciate your contribution and hope to hear from you again in future. It is my absolute honor to introduce one of the most accomplished alumni whose journey is an inspiration to us all. He has been a shining beacon of success and determination. Ram Nidamalu, PhD, is currently a professor, organizational behavior practice at the Indian School of Business, Hyderabad. He has 35 years of experience in conducting programs for executives. From 2015 to 19, Ram was the founder and CEO of the Academy for Innovation and Management. He was the lead author of the September 2009 Harvard Business Review cover article and the Collaboration Imperative. PhD from Anderson Business School from Los Angeles, MBA from IIM Calcutta, BE Electronic and Communication Engineering from the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and BSc Physics from Madras Christian College, Chennai. Sir, the stage is yours.
And I must thank Mr. Dhanraj during NCC days, spending the whole day marching in the sun. And I admire all you guys, you girls and boys, for being able to stand for such a long time. Hopefully I won't keep you long. My name is Ram and I am a scholar and a practitioner of leadership. And you may have all heard of Napoleon, the great French emperor. He was defeated by the Duke of Wellington. And there is a famous saying in England, the Battle of Waterloo, where he was defeated, was won on the playing fields of Eton. And Eton and Harrow were these public schools in England, like the schools we have here. The equivalent in ancient Indian wisdom, in the Mahabharata, is the Battle of Kurukshetra was won in the Gurukul of Gyasu Dronacharya. In a similar sense, the lesson I've learned is the battle of life is won in the classrooms and the playing fields of Breeks. And I want to just simplify these 5 leadership lessons. Being someone who studies leadership, 5 leadership lessons, and nothing better than our school motto, ADREM, A-D-R-E-M, which means to the point, stay focused. And let me just identify the first leadership lesson, A for ambition. It is truly ambitious of the founders of the school and the principals who came thereafter to provide the highest quality education, really the highest education at the lowest price. This is called value innovation in business. It is something that many businesses now try to do. We tried it 150 years ago. Value for your money. Highest in terms of excellence and the most affordable for families of modest means. That is A for ambition. And we've pulled it off to varying degrees in the last 150 years. D is for determination. The focus, the persistence, the drive, the determination, which starting with Mr. Breeks himself as the collector, as the first commissioner, and the principles of Breeks. Breeks has gone through many difficult times, as Vijay Raghavan identified, and this wonderful souvenir that we have of this reunion. The history of Breeks is filled with determination. The ups and downs, the many times it almost folded, the many times it came back through determination. And this is a tremendous leadership lesson. The leaders I've studied are determined, passionate, will persist. Then comes R. R is for respect. Respecting the institution, respecting the heritage, respecting our teachers, respecting students. That kind of all-round respect, respecting nature, respecting our higher powers. Them that honor me will I honor is nothing but respect. It's all about respect. Another tremendous leadership lesson. E is for excellence. Above all, excellence in education and learning, not just in the classroom, but on the playing fields, in our gatherings, in our interactions, in our relationships with one another. R is the sign of respect. I was at E, excellence. Reaching for the highest, which is part of our motto, that is excellence. Finally, and very importantly, which is what this whole reunion is about, M is for meaning. Meaning in what we did in school all those years ago, for me it is 50 years ago, the meaning that comes from our community, the meaning that comes from our friendships that we form and maintain throughout our lifetime, the meaning that we get from looking at the history of Breeks, the meaning that we get from this wonderful place, this wonderful town up in these mountains, So these are the 5 leadership lessons. And what I'd like to do, and this is something that hopefully would be helpful, let me ask this group here, these students over here, and so let me ask you to identify, discuss among yourselves, let me give you 1 minute. What else would you say A is for? I said ambition. What else would you say A is for? What leadership lesson that you have found or you think you'll find? So A for this group, D for that second group, the second half. So spend a minute discussing among yourselves. A for what? D for what? And let me say R, that group over there. R for what else? E and then M. Let me give you 2 minutes to just turn around and discuss. A for what word? A for what? Aim. Okay, and why aim? One of you come up here. Come up here. Aim for what? Come on up here. Come on up here. Let me give you a hand up. Meanwhile, let the others think of B, R, E, M. Come on up. Come on up. A. Why is A? A for what?
A for aim.
And why aim? Why is aim important?
Aim is important for our dream and ambition.
Absolutely. Very good.
Our dream comes true because of hard work and some studies, and we want to put hard work in our life, get success.
Very good, good. A is for aim, vision. D, let me get one of you come up here. D is for what? D is for, I said determination. What else? D for what? And meanwhile, let this group think about R. R, E, and M. Go ahead. D for what? And there's so many words. D for dreaming. D for, yeah, come on up. Come on up. What is D for? Come on up here. D for what? And why? Why is it important?
We all have a dream. We can achieve a dream in our life.
Wonderful. And what is your dream? What is your dream?
My dream I should become a footballer and collector.
Very good. And all the best to you got the collector. The next chief guest, collector. And R, come on out, one of you. What is R for? R is for? And why? What is R? One word and why? Come on up, come on up. And in the meanwhile, can some of you think of E? E and then M. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. R for what? Come on up. There's so many words, right? R is for writing, reading, arithmetic. The 3 R's. 3 R's which we all learned about. R is for? Raise. That's right, raise. If you're an employee, you want a raise in a company. That's a raise. Raise yourself up. Come on up, show your creativity. R is for responsibility. Come on up. Okay, come on, you actually substitute for them. Y is R. Sorry? Responsibility. Come on up, come on up. Don't be afraid. Actually, he's going to come. Let both of you, come on up. Both of you, come on up. R is for, what did you say?
R is for reading.
Reading, very good. And what have you read recently?
I read about chess books, many things.
About many things. Chess?
Because if you read many things, you can gain more information and knowledge.
Absolutely. Lovely. Absolutely. Reading is the foundation to success and leadership. And R is for?
R is for responsibility. We should be responsible for everything.
Absolutely. 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 Just as we have rights, we also have responsibility. E, come on up. One of you, one of the girls, come on up. I said E is for excellence. What do you say? E is for? Come on up and tell us why. E is for what and why? Etiquette. E is for etiquette. What else is E for? Come on up and what is E for? Both of you, come on up. E is for?
E is for effort, because if we put more effort to achieve a success.
Absolutely. Wonderful. E is for?
E is for education. Education rules the world.
Absolutely. You put it perfectly. Education rules the world. And finally, M. I said meaning, what else is M for? One of you, come on up. Come on, you too, but one of you, one of the girls, what is M for? M is for, there are many words. Motivation, meaning, mother, mastery, motivation. Who said motivation? Oh, come on up, yes. M is for motivation. And why?
M is for meticulous. Meticulous means being well planned. We should be well planned before doing something for getting success.
Excellent.
Lovely.
That's a lovely word. That's a lovely word. Meticulous. And yes, these are the 5 leadership principles. And follow any one of them, that will surely lead you to success. And I wish and I hope that 50 years from now, many of you will be back here, as many of us are. And hopefully by then, it will not be so hard. You'll be able to. Thank you all very much, and I appreciate everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Ram. Your speech not only deepened our understanding, but also motivated us to think and act with purpose. Thank you for taking the time to enlighten us and for making this event so memorable. We are incredibly grateful for your presence and contribution. Now, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce Wonder Jockey, one of our most accomplished alumni. He is a shining example of the values and excellence that our institution represents. Wonder Jockey, batch of 1983, school topper in the 10th standard, athlete and sportsman, presently Vice President at CIEL and HR for one of the leading firms. Jockey.
Good morning, everybody. I am not as illustrious as the other 2 speakers who spoke before me, so I used the shortcut to come on top over here. I'm speaking on behalf of Homi Edalji, who happens to be the 3rd Indian to have joined Breeks after 1906. There's a little bit of history that I want the kids to know, that the school was started in 1874. Until 1905, as Mr. Blanket said, the vision was that everybody in the Nilgiri should study over here. But somewhere in 1905, the school ran out of funds and then they decided to close it down. When they started it again, they decided that only the Europeans would study over here and nobody else would study over here. So for about 36 years, there were only Europeans studying in Breeks School. Homi Danjiboy was the only son of Mr. and Mrs. Danjiboy, and he in 1943, was time for him to go to school. He was 5 years old. His father came to Breeks, they didn't allow him, so he put him in hostel in St. Joseph's, Kunaul. At the same time, in his namesake, there was a senior bureaucrat called Homi Mehta, who was in the presidency of Bombay presidency. The then collector of the Bombay presidency had to go on a furlough for 1 year, and Homi Mehta was elected or was designated as the governor in charge of the presidency of Bombay. He used to come to Ooty every year for his holidays. He bought a house on Snowdown Road and he loved Ooty. He had 2 grandchildren, so he wanted them to study in Ooty. He walked into Breeks and found out that he couldn't put his children to study over here. So he found this was not acceptable at all. So he went to who was called at that time the DPI, Director Projection of Inspection. So he went to him. He was a knighted officer called Sir Statham. He went and told him, when the British Empire can make an Indian rule or look after a whole state or a province of Bombay, why can't you allow Indians to study in the school? So Sir Statham straight away came to Ooty, spoke to the collector, and in 1944, Zal and Farooq Mehta were the first 2 Indians after 1905 to have joined Breeks School. The minute Danjiboy's father heard this, he went and met Mr. Mehta and told him, I want my son, he's my only son and I'm missing him, he's studying in Kunaul. So then he was the 3rd person to study over here. Danji boy is hale and healthy. He would have wanted to come today. Whether due to a little bit of cold he couldn't come today. He would have been the third or the first two people have already passed away. So Danji boy would have been the oldest or the first Indian from 1940 to have been over here. He sends his greetings to all of you. He passed out in 1953 from Cambridge, Breeks Cambridge certificate. He did his degree from Loyola's, went on into the plantations, retired as a director with Bombay Burma Trading Company. His message to all of you today is that I am what I am because of Breeks. If not for Breeks, I wouldn't have been what I am. This is something I want you boys and girls to carry on, that it is the school that made each and every one of us today. You have so many of us standing over here today, and we're all here because of this school. I wish you all the best and God bless. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shoki, for sharing such insightful and inspiring words with us today. Your expertise and passion for the school have truly left us with valuable takeaways. Now it's time to honor our teachers.
Where's the list?
It's a proud moment to honor our teachers present here.
I call upon the working committee to come and honor our past teachers of this institution, and many of our kindergarten teachers are present here, and we're so happy to see you, ma'am. I'll call Mrs. Vasanta Madhulingan and D. Radhakrishnan to come and honor the teachers.
Vasanta, where is Vasanta? Ah, Vasanta. Okay.
This is Vasanta Madhulingan. Hello, ma'am.
Anna, turn it this side. Anna, turn it this side. Yeah.
Mrs. Selin Rani, Jai Sheila to give the memento to Mrs. Selin Rani. Mr. Suresh Babu.
You stand there. Whose name is announced, bring their phone.
Octavius Banchar to give memento to Mrs. Sarah Benjamin. Deepti to honor Mrs. Fatima. Mrs. Fatima. Nitya to honor Mrs. Leena Charles. Anita to honor Mrs. Alfonsa Selvaraj. JP to honor Mrs. Barbara Watson.
Sir, inge parunga.
Done for the picture.
honor Mrs. Lalita Bai.
Rajesh, in the book.
Yeah.
Mahesh, to honor Mrs. Zakaria Banu. Paddy to honor Mr. Benjamin. Sandeep to honor Mrs. Fox. Sandeep.
I am your husband today, shortly in the morning. Thank you. I'm giving you a one. That's it. It's a privilege and honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Please make it fast. 86 fast students.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Please wait, sir. Please wait. Sir, look here, sir. Ma'am, look here, ma'am. Thank you. Just look here, ma'am. Look here. Ma'am, stay, ma'am. Kota.
To honor Mrs. Suganti Moses.
She's my LKG teacher.
இதை பார்த்துக்கிறீங்களா? நான் அவ்வளோ போய்ட்டுறேன்.
Be sure to honor Mrs. Sundari Rajiv.
Okay, she was my teacher. Maths teacher. Maths teacher.
Yes, thank you.
Sir, see the camera, sir. See the ma'am. 1 second, ma'am. Rajesh, இங்க பாருங்க. Ma'am. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Time கொடுத்துருவேன். ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை.
On this wonderful occasion, you're going to the right crowd. The 100th year of Breeks. Welcome to Breeks.
Sir, if you don't mind.
Mr. Thompson, can I request you to please come on the podium? Come on the podium to give it
Please,
We need one with the school background. It's very Indian. I speak.
video, Surya.
Sir, please come down. Please come. Sir, please come.
What the fuck? Why are you standing there?
The rowdy boy is coming back.
We have Shanmugam sir. Your presence, stories and contributions have filled this event with joy and inspiration. We are a great round of applause. Thank you.
Of the people who will be a great inspiration to you, not only those who are on the stage, even those who are off the stage. Thank you, alumni, for making this program a joyful event. Thank you, children. So, as I promised you yesterday, I said you'll be meeting the old people who will be a great inspiration to you, not only those who are on the stage, even those who are off the stage. The way they conduct themselves, the way they communicate within themselves would have definitely inspired you. I thank the Almighty for giving us this special day and a beautiful sun, and I never felt the sun's heat at all. Thank you, alumni, for making this program a joyful event. Let us give a very big hand to all the alumni members. So thank you, children. So as soon as we complete the national anthem, we will go back to our respective classes. And thank you, alumni. They will be leaving after this event, and they will be having a school walk in the evening after 4:30. So you can go back and concentrate on your regular classes. Revision tests are underway in both the boards, whether it is the state board or the CBSE board. So concentrate and go back and assemble. You can have a break, 10 minutes break, and after the national anthem, directly go back to your class. Thank you. We shall now sing the national anthem.
Shubha Name what we call the 2K project.
So downloads it from the internet and it keeps playing.
We get hard drives. Interesting, all the short ones come. The others come in a hard drive. Then we load it and...
Right. It comes in by transport. Through internet also it can come because of the bandwidth and all that. Hard drives come.
So operator comes in the morning, he just speaks in English. Okay. To announce the interval, to announce again the starting of the... All that we have.
Yeah, it's all standard safety.
Yeah.
Thank you.